Just quick tips on how you can brand yourself and your business, so as a personal brand or a small business, especially if you have a very limited budget. I love this place. The light is so good. So guys, we're here at the Workstation Lounge with A, and that's Osiris, and we're going to be talking branding. How to brand yourself online on social media. That's what we're going to be talking about with.
She's really checking out her makeup.
I'm actually checking out my.
Just saying. If you hear music playing in the background, she's really checking out her makeup.
I'm actually checking out my makeup.
Fine too. Damn,
You are, man. Damn.
Wow.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel again. If you're a subscriber here, if you're new here, my name is Latifa, and my channel is all about lifestyle. I do some social media how-tos. Actually, no. Instagram growth. I do some destination vlogs. Let me just stop rambling because there's just someone sitting here. And this is Osiris. Yay! And Osiris is a branding expert, and he's going to be talking to us about how to brand yourself online. Just quick tips on how you can brand yourself and your business, so as a personal brand or a small business, especially if you have a very limited budget.
Zero or limited budget.
Zero limited.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about yourself, Osiris.
So I'm a brand strategist and consultant. I run a small, pretty sizable company called Jonathan Cole. We do brand management. That's what we do.
So he's the guy to talk to.
Yeah, I'm the guy to talk to. If you have money, I don't work with I don't have money.
He's told you guys. So what brands have you worked with?
So Heritage Bank. Padebi, she's a consultant. Padebi Ojoma. Done some work for Steve Harris as well. Done some work for Alan and Grant, a business solutions company here in Lagos. Done some work for Green Key.
So let's talk branding. Like, a lot of people don't even understand what
branding really is.
Exactly.
So branding is very simple. It is essentially what people see or say about you. That's what it is in simplest form. Managing people's perception about you or about your business, which is where we come in with the help to decide those things. But today we're going to be talking about the little hacks people can do, especially for individuals or businesses that want, mostly personal brands. Oh, I don't have the money to spend to pay your salary. How do we get it done without spending all this money? Okay, I can give you a few tricks.
What is the one thing someone who has no money, so I want to become an influencer, I want to start a small business, what should they be thinking about in terms of branding themselves?
One of the first things that people always make a mistake in right off the bat is three things, honestly. Profile picture, their bio, and their username. So when you follow someone, the first three things they check is they see your username and they're like, who's this person? Right. So if you have something like Hot Chick 2002, I'm like, who is this one? Number two, the second thing they notice is your profile picture. Yeah. And you see the profile picture, they make a judgment call. Do I want to follow this person? Am I interested in knowing what's more about this person? Third thing I would look at is your bio. I don't know who this person really is. What do they do? And I see something like, maybe some people write a quote, or some people will write something like, small girl, big God.
Small girl, big God.
But, they write something really, weird. And I'm wondering, how is me following this person, useful for me? Right. So this is like, mostly if you're a business person, if you're not going to use your social media for business, that's fine, completely fine. Let's say you do a 9 to 5. I'm okay with your 9 to 5, don't do anything else. You just want to be on social media to promote, just show up pictures and show stuff and be there so your friends can see what's going on in your life. That's fine.
Would you say your profile picture should be like up close of your face? Or like a full...
At the most, it should not be more than your shoulder, because what we really want to see is your face. And decide if we like this person, if we want to follow this person and see what they're all about. But preferably it should be a picture of you smiling. Because it shows that you're a happy person and then you're pretty exciting to be around with. Yeah.
And your bio should have what kind of information?
At least in the simplest form, the things that you do. So for example, on my bio it says brand developer, designer, managing partner, Jonathan Cole, and photographer. So it's simple. You get to understand all the things that I do almost immediately when you come on the platform. So if you see some things, you're not surprised as to why I'm seeing these things on the platform.
Okay, so now let's move to your feed.
Okay.
How do you brand your feed? Because that's where I struggle. Because I want to put everything. Because obviously I'm a social media strategist. I'm a blogger and I do YouTube. But I also do I like fitness and I like food, but I don't want to confuse my followers. So what are the? Do you just do everything, or you just stick to? Well, what you've already talked about in your bio. What?
For me, one of the best things I've found with social media is people like to follow authentic people. So if your feed is so much of content, nobody is really interested in following you because all they want to see is just content. They want to see you sometimes laugh. They want to see you sometimes play. They want to see what you eat sometimes because the idea of following you is we want to see these things about your life. So we need to see little bits and pieces of other things that are not necessarily what you've told us you're doing on your bio. So for example, I would put up stuff about food every now and then. But several things I'm always concerned about is that the pictures of these things you put up online have to be crisp and clean. You don't have to spend all the money on a good camera, but just find the right angle, the right light. Another thing that you want to consider is things like quotes, for example. You don't have to even create this quote yourself.
Right.
Go on Google and type quotes about success. Find the worst one that hits you. Copy it. Use an app. Put it into text. Upload it on your social media. It shows you as influence in that field because people see the quote and say, oh, they would necessarily not ask you if it was your quote or not. All they know is that they found that quote on your platform
And they connect
with it.
So just a mix of your
personal life and your professional life.
Right.
But there has to be solid balance. So it has to be, if you put it in percentage, 70% of your business life or professional life, 30% of your personal life.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, what about if you're a small business though? So let's say you have a fashion store, and that's what you do. Do you mix in your personal?
I find that one of the things that me personally and my team or anybody else have asked these questions and during meetings about social media is, so it's okay to have the individual, the business owner there on the page, but whatever content you're putting on the page, you have to ask yourself few questions. Number one, is it going to drive sales? Is somebody going to ask me for this thing? Would I do this kind of stuff? For example, let's say I own that particular company, for example, I would show me going to a meeting and then come back from the meeting successful, and I put up a picture and write something about me being successful in that meeting because I wore this. I necessarily don't have to say because I wore the outfit, but just by putting it and say, today has been a wonderful day, 3 successful meetings I've gone out today, I'm cashing out. People would associate my success of that meeting with my outfit. So those kind of things, it necessarily doesn't say go and buy the shirt or buy the outfit, but I just said, here's the picture of one of our clients who just had 3 successful meetings today.
Right. So everything has to tie in with the brand. Even if it's personal, it must come back to the brand. So you said something about taking pictures and you don't have to use expensive equipment. What equipment would you suggest for someone who's starting out? Because crisp pictures, because you see a lot of blurry shit on Instagram, Twitter, but you want it to be clear. So what do you recommend? Obviously, not everybody can afford an expensive camera or whatever, but or an expensive phone. But what would you say someone that's starting out? What phones and apps would you recommend?
So for phones, for example, I would always recommend the iPhones. Most of
He's biased.
However, I've tried the Samsung S9. I think it's really nice. But if you don't have all that money, you can always buy a used phone, or you get a good deal for a used phone, or you buy any of the low-range iPhones, maybe like the iPhone 5 or the iPhone 6. They'll still give you great pictures, and you also have to know where to take them. So the right backgrounds, plain backgrounds are always better. Wooden background or white plain background. Also light. There has to be so much light. That way you take the pictures and just at the right angle to take them in, and let them be a bit close up in some way and have a bit of more space. So and then add something to give it that's contrasting to the color. So even if it's a red cup or red bottle, something just to add pop to it. For apps to do quotes, there's this app on iOS called Enhance. It's a company, the app, you can put your logo in there and put the quotes on there, and then it looks like it's from you. Canva. Another one is Adobe Spark. I think that's only available on iOS as well. Right. There's an app called Word Swagger or something like that. You can also use that app.
Austerity and I had so much to talk about on this topic that I had to break this up into parts. So we've got the second part coming up soon, and we'll be talking about how to attract customers on Instagram and how you should build engagement and a whole lot more. So if these are topics you're interested in learning about, hit that subscribe button just so you get notified when I upload this. It's going to be very, very soon.